Right, this is a daily chart of AAPL. AAPL is a stock I've been talking about and covering for quite a while. When we were in the breakout mode, I was talking about it well, all since October, uh, September, August, you name it. There's so many breakout points and videos I made back over here about where this stock would be. And to this day, the stock is still much higher. But what we had was, since we had that flash crash, the stock has been really acting, horribly for a long time. But before I talk about the new numbers, my new thoughts, and why I think this stock is really bullish right now, I want to talk about, I want to explain reasons. Because just a lot of people shoot a lot of numbers out, but they have nothing, no facts to back it up. And I'm not like that. I don't guess. I explain numbers, and things have to happen in a certain way for them to really materialize. I mean, the odds will be in your favor. Nothing's 100%, right? I wish it was that way, but what I call it is odds in your favor. And when the odds are in your favor, more likely than not, something's going to take off. And I'll give an example here. HSY. This was one of the trades I did in January. For HSY as an example. So I had a plan, and this stock, of course, was trading at this place right here, and this is witnessed by all my chart witness followers. And this confirmed, like I said, and we got that 200%. I mean, it did it faster than I anticipated. And that's the thing is, you don't know how fast something's going to happen, but there was an anticipation, a plan, based on the facts. This was viable targets, and you know what? This thing did exactly that. It actually went about $1 above that, right? If we go to if we go to the charts here, and this is important to talk about this, to tell you how I'm coming up with the Apple numbers I'm going to talk to you about. So HSY. This was the original. I look for things that are in favor, right? I scanned for HSY, and then, of course, I talked about it on this day here, right? So we go to that chart, right? See for yourself, right? So here's the chart plan. I sent this to my chart witness followers. Well, this day right here, and the stock was this day here, right? So they went lower, but then we reversed and we hit the number, right? Now, if this never happened, here's my point here. If it never happened, if it never materialized, never hit the numbers that I'm talking about, then there would be no way this would go there. The point of the analysis that I have is I have a confirmation points, and from experience, I know that something is looking right, but it has to confirm. And there's a strong point to this, is why I'm explaining this about Hershey. And again, this stock actually confirmed again. I actually took an early entry signal because there was intraday patterns, and this held a key level, similar to what I did with Apple. But this I actually I didn't talk about the Apple trade other than the support levels a way back, a few days. Maybe a week so backwards. But anyways, HSY. As you can see, I had the plan where I think it can go, how much the February 105 calls could gain. So far, they've actually gained about 100%. Had you bought the early entry signal, not on the new entry, of course, but we hit the numbers like I explained, and then I said I would look to add in these areas. We had to add higher, of course, because the 105 was already hit that day. Actually, that was the day before it moved. So the day before it moved, that was the instruction. This is the update, where I said if it breaks above 106 area on volume, to take a position on that. And then I explained this. You can press pause and read what I said here. But the stock basically was really strong while the market was negative, and I was surprised that Apple was, as negative as it was. But when I saw this kind of stock, and that's another thing with my scans, I saw stocks that it didn't make sense. That I had a good feeling that Apple was going to reverse. The thing is I'm not going to guess. All I know is that it did hold key levels. It would bounce back. And now let's talk about Apple here. Follow me for great advice. Become a chart witness follower. But anyways, I talked about a 106.80 area for support. Now, what happened was, the market was really negative, and Apple just went a little bit below it. So I wasn't too concerned with, again, you notice we closed 106.26, 106.26 again, right? So that's not that negative when, we just close a little bit above it. And we've done some negative closes, and this reversal is identical or very similar to this reversal. And when we had this reversal and the confirmation here, we had the strong movement. And I believe this reversal is already confirming, is better than this reversal. And so I believe Apple is setting up for a strong move higher. And when we confirm the numbers that I'm going to talk about, I believe that Apple is going to could go to run into the 126 to 128 area before earnings, and that's a possibility if we can confirm. Okay, and of course after earnings even go higher. I think this pattern and what's happened to Apple and the severity of the drop and the length of this drop. Just like this, look, Apple went through a phase here. I consider this phase over here. I was watching this and I studied this chart. I mean, Apple a little different than most stocks, but I basically look for the stocks that are in your favor to find points. Now, there was nothing in your favor in September and October in Apple. Apple needed to really confirm. The same thing happened with the flash crash. This was really not much in your favor. There were some, intraday movements, but this reversal movement, intraday one, I actually entered this today as well, so a position in this. But this reversal is very similar, and that's what made me get into this. I looked at the intraday patterns. I studied this area over here on some other screens that I have. This is not the only screen I look at. But what I can explain to you is that this reversal this was actually more negative than the fall we had over here, and we have like some sort of like a double bottom action happening here with a strong bounce. I mean, this was a very strong bounce. And we have to see what kind of power we have tomorrow. But really, the key here for Apple, again, is that key 115 area. Now, before, it was simply 115 was a bullish area. But now 115 is more bullish than the 115 about a week ago. As you can see, we attempted it. We attempted to get to this 115 area. But we failed, and it was a surprise. I mean, this was a big letdown. The only good news I can say is that this pattern is now larger than before, and you can see today's move in Apple is giving us proof that this is a strong reversal. In fact, this is a stronger reversal than this one. And look what happened. And this is identical. This is very identical. Most people will not have told you something like this, but I'm basing my facts on that this reversal is here. It's just this is a more powerful, and so the stock is now set up to make a giant leap higher, and that is technical reasons for it. Fundamentally, I mean, this stock is incredible with the money they make. I mean, it's incredible that this happened. I thought that this would be to be honest, I thought this was going to be but that's why I waited for confirmation. This would be the reversal, and it was a reversal, but then this was a letdown. You had to exit, take small profits, even small losses. This was a letdown as this pulled back, and it was an unexpected thing. But you know what? The stock didn't confirm. You notice that a lot of my ideas like HSY are based on confirmation, right? And so guessing, or like a lot of people on the board, they guess, Apple's going to 100. They don't know what they're talking about. What's the reason that it's going to go to 100? What facts can you look at the chart that'll go to 100? There was no way to know for sure. And it didn't, of course. As you can see, we went to the low was for a little bit, 104.63, but that didn't last long as the stock closed at 106.26, just slightly below the key resistance area. And I can tell you that there's a similarity to this bounce day. This wasn't the same thing. See, that's the thing. This was actually this was the better correct. Apple went through its, correction phases. Correction, it comes up, correction. This correction was not the real correction. The second one time it is. But this reversal is the same as this one. Except I believe this is a stronger reversal. Now all that's left for the stock to do is now confirm. And now 115 to the 116 area becomes a more powerful, pronounced area right now. a place where someone would add, because when you think that I think this stock has a huge upside in the next few weeks. So as an option play, it's going to be very expensive, very explosive, especially the 115 February calls that I described in one of my other updates. So that's what I'm about. I give you the facts. Apple, those targets 128, 130. Roughly between for earnings, I would not be surprised that we hit numbers like 126 to 128. The key is though, is what kind of power and pressure do we have as we trade in that 115 to 116 area. 115 is a key area, but we need to hold above that key area. And how powerful do we trade that day as we're crushing through 115 is the key. As long as someone gets in within that 115 to 116 area, I'm not giving an exact number because it's something that has to happen on that day. That will be key for this explosive move that I'm talking about. But that has to happen. If Apple for some reason doesn't do that, and again the odds are not in favor, then right now, this won't happen. That's what's the missing key is the trigger number, and it's so important. I've seen many stocks never trigger, only to go lower. Then when they finally do trigger, they trigger a different number, and it goes a lot higher. Follow me for great advice on. Let's take a look quickly at my stream here. Power Trigger Trade here, Developer Visionary Light. So I look at facts and I send a lot of updates. You can see I get a lot of people with a lot of comments on my stream. You can see the comments here, right? I mean, you don't, regardless of the only 3,325 followers, the followers that I do have are very active on my stream. And I've seen people with a lot more followers, and they barely get any messages. Like you'll see my stream is littered with messages and stuff. So follow people great advice, but that's my explanation with Apple. This is an explosive stock, something to really pay attention. But I really want to see this confirm the key levels for this explosive move higher, because this I'm telling you, this reversal here, especially we can confirm this was the confirmation day here on earnings. Okay, look what the move we had. I believe Apple is going to have a similar move, if not just as large, if not larger move now, because we've gone through our horrible, this shitty phase over here, right? In the meantime, while this was happening, I went into stuff like HSY, ISIS, and those two trades alone in this crappy month, December for Apple, were huge winners. HSY and another stock called ISIS that did really well, that produced great option gains, while Apple was really subpar gains. But now Apple's getting primed to make huge gains again. So it's something to really pay attention to. But remember, confirmation is key, because no matter what I say here, it is so important that this starts trading above the 115 area now. And it's very clear on these charts and from its history. The way this does a good job. There's another. Now I looked at some other facts again. That my charts do not show this point here, but I can tell you from some other screens that I look at that this day here is very similar to this day here, except this is more explosive than this key reversal area. And this was a fake out key reversal. It looked like it was going to be one, but it wasn't the same depth as this one. This one is. They're very similar, and look what happened. I believe, based on what I'm telling you here, and we confirm that we're going to get an explosive move higher. Those 115 options are going to be huge. I talk about 200-300% gains. It could be between three, depending on how strong and fast they do. I mean, look how fast today Apple moved. Depends on how fast, how quickly, how strong we break, and I'll have to make other updates. But you have to plan mentally. A lot of people, they don't plan mentally for these stocks properly. They just have these small little targets, and when the stock is set up to really make a move, right? And that's another thing I do. I look for the scans. I look for the right kind of stocks ready to move. But you'll always see, all my chart witness followers always see me use a confirmation number. And the reason being is that it's more. It doesn't mean for sure it's going to work, but your odds are in your favor. Remember that. I mean, if anybody can know the future 100%. I mean, we had to live through this, but I can tell you one thing, that based on the history of this stock, that what I'm telling you, this reversal is, we are in that mode right now, and it's just a matter of how fast and strong do we confirm, and it should be soon. These key areas now that'll set this thing be a lot more explosive to a lot of people. A lot of people, give target numbers, but I'm giving you target numbers based on that this needs to do certain things, and that while people are thinking that 116 or 120 is this stock could outperform those numbers, and technically that's how it's acted in the past. Once it's broken out of its consolidation phase, and that's what I believe is happening right now based on this point here. So I'm giving you the real facts. Now all we need is confirmation. Thanks for listening. It was a great long video, but like the video.